change pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Is that you not have your laugh reduced to total poverty. That's it. In other words, it's not enough to just be patient to the point you can't be I'm going to tell you that person has a free laugh.
Okie dokie. What is happening, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to this video. Now this is going to be a bit different. So, you know, friends, fans, foes, viewers, readers, audience, listenership, whatever. It's going to be a little bit different from the things that are normally found here on this channel. But it's been something I've been wanting to do for quite some time. Now, if you're new here, or if this is, you know, your first time here, welcome to 3 Billion Nances. My name is Nance. Normally, we'll be reading or discussing philosophy, or theory, critical theory, social theory, speculative theories, or science fiction and the interface between, you know, what's fiction and what's real, what's the real world. So yeah, if that interests you, feel free to peruse the channel or even the Substack over there. Click on that little QR code, check stuff out. And yeah, like I said, this is not standard fare for this outlet, but I've been wanting to do this for quite some time. Now, the reason I've been wanting to do this is because here on the internet, in the theory and philosophy space, the underground theory scene, I don't know, whatever you need to call it, here online, there are people who could be contributing to this space and to these discussions, to these conversations. But they aren't, because they encounter the barrier to entry of just not knowing how to work the software. So I intend to make a series of videos going through the software, kind of demystifying it. I've talked to several people about this, and they've said they would love to, you know, take part in these discussions, you know, join the conversation, whatever, contribute. But they just don't know where to begin. They wouldn't know where to begin. It can seem overwhelming. It can seem daunting if you've never done this. So I want to, you know, demystify that a little bit and try to encourage more people to get involved. Recently, in the last few years, we've seen tools come online, generative tools, artificial intelligence, stuff like that, in quotes. And they have kind of recast the barriers, the standard barriers to entry, recontextualized maybe somewhat. There are people who have little to no curiosity and little to no kind of discipline and ability and willingness to put forth effort. And they just go on the internet and they make up crap and they share it. Now, it's not a problem in, like I said, the online theory, online philosophy world, as far as I can tell, yet. I think it's probably, you know, more a problem just like on the internet in general. But us theory heads, us philosophy enthusiasts, seem to do a better job of being aware of, you know, what is quality, what is worthwhile, and what is not. So it's not like there's this invasion of slop just yet, but who knows what the coming years will bring. And I would prefer those people who I know who could be making, contributions to the space and to the ongoing conversations, and who just aren't because they don't know, how to work OBS and how to work video editing and uploading and all that stuff. I would prefer they get involved than the AI slop factory. So that's why I'm making this series for you all. Now, you may be a viewer, you may be a fan, you may be a friend, and you may think, well, Nance, why would we want to take advice from you? Your videos all look like crap. Your audio always sounds like crap. It's not like you are this expert content creator, guys, so why should we listen to you? And fair enough. You're right. I definitely don't create the finest content out there. But first and foremost, I do like the shitty MS Paint aesthetic as an art style. I do like that. So that's one reason why my stuff often looks like crap. But a more, genuine reason is it's just me. What do they say? You can't have something cheap, fast, and done well or whatever, one of those, at least one of those is going to be the sacrificial lamb or whatever. Well, necessarily this is going to be cheap. This is me in my office at home doing this by and for myself, or for and by myself. So it's always going to remain cheap. It will never get to the point where I have a bunch of people with a bunch of machines doing all that for me. So I'm just one guy. And then you have speed. With these conversations, I think there is a necessary element of speed. Like, this is an ongoing conversation. This is a live conversation. We're trying to understand the world we live in today, not the world we lived in 10 years ago, not 5 years ago, not last year. We're really trying to theorize and understand the world today. So there's an element of keeping up with the conversation as it's happening, or releasing bits of our side, our bits of the conversation as they're happening. And I think, stopping and taking the time, what if I only uploaded something once every 6 weeks? Then, yeah, it could look and sound excellent, but it would potentially already be outdated, obsolete. So there is an element of keeping up with the conversation itself. Now, that's not to say that you, dear audience, have to keep up with everything as I put it out. You must watch this. You must listen to this. You must read my newest story. You must this. You must that. That's not to say that. Things come out when they come out. You get around to things when you get around to them. But as far as being active and having, a role to play in the conversation, I think it's important to try to keep up with it. And we'll never keep up with it, because by the time we're actually able to theorize it and language it and, say something about it, it is already too late. But the speed is a part of it too. So then you come down to made well. Now, I do put tremendous time and effort and resources into the actual content of the content that comes out on here. So the actual conversation that's being had, the actual theory that we're doing and discussing, the actual, stories that I'm writing and all this stuff. The most amount of time and resources goes into that. But the form, the container of it all, the video, the audio recording, whatever. I'm not going to take the time to sit down and edit every little thing and shine it up and, make it polished and all that. That would just be far too time consuming, and it would defeat the purpose. Part of the aesthetic, there's also like an ethical part of the aesthetic as well. The internet is kind of tranquilizing us and turning us all into just passive consumers. And everything is, functionally the same thing. And it's just like minor aestheticized differences that that like that has become the content of so many things on the internet. So it's not about the form. It's not about the individual unique style. It really is about just getting everything up to a certain standard so that it's coherent, so it's legible, so it's deliverable, so that it's palatable to you as a, you know, someone who's going to partake in this, and hopefully join the conversation yourself. It's not about making everything look like the newest Mr. Beast video, or whatever. If that's what we were doing, then we would be, you know, contributing to this problem of increased passivity or whatever. So yeah, the aesthetics, the style, there's also ethics going on at that level as well. But you may remain unconvinced. You may say, yeah, but okay, I hear that, but why? Why are you the guy to make this video? And why have you been wanting to make this series of videos for so long? Well, I started in digital media, I guess. I started my first blog in 2003. So I've been more or less involved for over 2 decades at this point in, I guess, content creations or digital media projects, whatever. And initially when I started, it was just about writing and visual art. I would write graffiti. I would do some photography. I would write about it, art, culture, that type of stuff. But over the years, that has changed and evolved. And now I'm here doing this. And I've worked with other people as well. I've worked for some different projects, some national brands, like some, you know, top shelf stuff. I've worked with other people as a camera operator, as an editor, as a producer, as a social media guy. So I've kind of had a lot of roles, worn a lot of hats. And it's not to say I am the greatest at this, because I'm far from the greatest at this. But like I said, I've been doing it for a long time in a lot of different roles. A few years ago, I came out from behind the camera and started, you know, got into live streaming, got into videos, stuff like that, working with other people, had a lot of really great experiences, got to travel the world, got to meet some excellent, amazing people. That was really cool. The other people I was working with, they randomly decided that it had always been them and that I had never actually been contributing to anything. And so now here I am doing my thing. Turns out, you know, these other people were on some weird reactionary stuff anyway. So I'm happy to be doing my own thing, but that's where we are. That's why we're here. And like I said, it will continue to grow and evolve and change over the years. And that's a good thing. So we're going to get into it. We're going to make a video series demystifying and explaining basic skills so that you can enter the online space, so that you can contribute to the conversation, or you can just share something. You know, if you got something on your chest and you want to get it out there, rather than turning to some AI tools, maybe you'll see this series and you'll be like, I can do that. I can make that type of stuff and I can share it online. And that'll be cool. For this first video, we are going to go over OBS. OBS, Open Broadcaster Software. OBS is the program that you're going to be using to record videos. So we're going to walk through the process of downloading OBS, setting up OBS, and running OBS. One thing I want to do for this first video in the series, you may have already noticed there's some things that you might think would have been edited out. But we're going to do just like as if this was a live stream. I'm going to edit while I shoot. I'm going to do everything in OBS, and this video will be uploaded, so it'll just be the raw recording straight out of OBS. It won't be edited. There won't be any graphics put in after the fact. I won't process the audio, won't do any of that stuff. It's just going to be the raw recording that I get out of OBS and upload, so that you can have an idea of what you will be capable of after watching this video. And later on in the series, when we actually get into editing, we actually get into production and these other steps, these other ways to use different programs and stuff like that, then of course we'll edit, and of course we'll do all that stuff. But like I said, I wanted to give you an idea of what you will be capable of with just OBS. So this will resemble a live stream. This will resemble like video playback from a live stream. Yeah, and it's kind of the same thing. You edit while you shoot. But take it away, Nance. We're going to switch views, and you will be looking at OBS. And there you go. Now you are looking at OBS. This is what OBS looks like. First things first, before we get there, we are going to download OBS in case you don't have it already. I'm going to show you where to go, and we'll be good. I'm just adding a display capture here so you can see what I'm doing. And there we go. This is my monitor. It's got a bunch of stuff. It is, it's tall ways. It's not short ways, it's tall ways. This is my audio interface. I have stuff down here. But yeah, that's for a later date. You will not be running an audio interface. You don't need to see my lights. Although, let me show you. Here, I'm going to turn on virtual camera. There I am. So that's my interface for my lights. I can make my lights go really bright. I can make them be less bright, and I can change the colors and do all that fun stuff. But that's all extra stuff that we will not be getting into today. So I should probably stop talking about it. I should probably move on to what we're doing. And what we're doing is going to the website to download OBS, which is obsproject.com/download. Don't go to any other sites. Don't go to any third-party stuff. There might be, if you go to Google and search OBS download, you might see some company who's offering something that they claim is more versatile and more useful and this and that. OBS is free software. Again, open broadcaster software. It's free. It's open source. And it is extremely versatile. There are a ton of things you can do with OBS. You don't want one of these third-party skins. Sometimes you have to pay for it. Sometimes they lock certain functionality behind paywalls and subscriptions and this and that. And sometimes they just break it. Like just vanilla OBS is extremely versatile. So once again, you're going to go to obsproject.com. You'll click on the download page. That'll bring you to the download page. And that's what we're looking at here. Just trying to get my screen set up properly. And it's still a bit screwy. Okay. There we go. You're going to click download. If you have a Windows machine, which is most likely, make sure Windows is highlighted. If you have a Mac, which is a possibility, you'll click on Mac. That'll take you to the Mac installer. And if you have Linux, which I highly doubt, but it is still a possibility, then you'll click the little penguin here, the Linus penguin. I run Windows. most of you are probably running Windows, so that's what you do. You click Windows, you click install or download. That will bring you to the download page. In your browser window next to the address bar, there's a thing. It's a little arrow in Firefox. I think in Chrome it looks like a little pie with a chunk cut out of it or something. If it doesn't automatically show it like it did here on my screen, you just click that button. And then rather than clicking on the file, you want to click on the folder icon. And that will bring you to your downloads. Which should look something like this. And that will take you to OBS Studio Windows installer. Unless you have a Mac, then Mac installer, whatever. You're going to want to double click on that, open it, run it. Go through the steps. It's a little install wizard. I'm going to delete it because I am already running OBS, so I cannot install it twice. Just wanted to show you what the website looks like and how to find it and how to open it and run it. So you'll double click on it, click run, go through the installation wizard, and shouldn't take too much time. It should happen fairly quickly. And after that runs, you'll click finish or open or whatever, and you'll be looking at a window that looks something like what you see here on the screen. Now, it will also look different. None of this will exist. These will not exist. This will be very similar, but it will not be exactly the same. So if you're looking at this and looking at your screen thinking, why isn't it exactly the same? Your screen is correct. Now, the first time you open OBS, it should run you through the auto configuration wizard. You want to run that. You want to choose optimize for recording. You want to choose resolution of 1920 by 1080. That's standard HD resolution. And then you want to choose a frame rate of 30 FPS, 30 frames per second. That's all the standard stuff you want to do. And it's a really cool tool. It should set up everything. It'll scan your hardware, it'll scan your system, and it'll get you set up with the optimal settings for your machine. If the auto configuration wizard doesn't run, or if this is not the first time you've opened OBS and you have messed around a little bit before, but you just want a blank slate, you want to start over again, go ahead in the window where it says File, Edit, View, blah, 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 the top left portion, there's a menu that says Tools. Click Tools. A little drop down will show up, and it will say Auto Configuration Wizard. And you are going to want to select that and run it. And once again, you want to optimize for recording. Even if you plan on doing live streaming later, optimize for recording is going to give you the best options for recording videos and even uploading and sharing videos. So optimize for recording, 1920 by 1080, canvas resolution, that's standard HD, and frame rate 30 FPS, 30 frames per second. We are not shooting skateboarding videos. We are not shooting Hollywood action films. We don't need 120 frames per second. We don't even need 60 frames per second. 30 frames per second is fine. And your camera, depending on what camera you have, it's probably already optimized for 30 frames per second. So run the auto configuration wizard, and then we will be looking at something that looks like this. Now, keep in mind, all of these things here in the panel that says scene, shit, I moved it. In this panel that says scenes, none of these will be here. There will be one. I can't remember if it starts you out with scene 1 or if you have to create scene 1. So when you open OBS, over here on the left lower quadrant in the scenes panel, you should be on scene 1. If there's nothing there, then you click the little plus sign down below, you name it, and you click OK. But I think it starts you out on your first scene. So either way, you want to be in scene 1. The way OBS works, it's broken down into scenes and sources. So the scene is up here in the program window. The scene is what goes out on the video or what goes out on the live stream. The scene is the scene that's getting displayed. Sources are anything that goes into and creates a scene. So cameras, your microphone, any displays you want to capture, any images you want to capture, any videos or moving elements or anything like that. All of those are sources, and they make up scenes. Sources can all also be resized. See, it's getting bigger, it's getting smaller. They can be cropped, which I will explain later, and they can be repositioned. Sources stack up into layers. So anything that's higher up in the stack is going to appear on top in the scene here. And anything that's beneath it, it will be hidden by it. So see how I turned on that other thing and it hid the existing thing? It's because that is above it. Now I'm going to keep it on and I'm going to move this display capture. And now it's on top again. So the sources stack up into layers. I'm going to go ahead and delete my secondary thing. All right. So you should be looking at scene 1 in your scene panel, and the sources should all be blank. We're going to go ahead and build your first scene and get you set up, and then then show you how to record and get you ready to start making your contributions to the ongoing conversations. So, like I said, scene 1, sources will be blank. This is just here so that you can actually see what's going on. If I were to hide it, then there's nothing. Then you see a blank screen and you just hear my voice. So in sources, in the sources panel, you click the little plus button and we're going to add your camera. Your camera is going to be the first thing that you add. Now, this works with all kinds of cameras. If you have a fancy camera that is hooked up via HDMI to your computer, or if you have a standalone web camera that plugs in via USB, or if you're on a laptop or you have a monitor that has a built-in camera or whatever, they all work the same way. We are going to add with the little plus button, and we are going to select video capture device. Now you will be creating a new one. So name that whatever you want to name it, webcam or camera or whatever. And it will give you options. You want to keep everything default. So for device, this is where you will actually drop down and you will actually find your camera. As you can see on screen, I'm going through all of these. It's not doing anything because, like I said, I'm already running the program, and once it's already running and recording, you can't change the settings in the same way. But you will select your camera. See, because I have the virtual camera turned on, I was able to set OBS virtual camera. But that is not my actual camera, but we'll go ahead and that's fine. So you've selected your camera. And now there you are. Look at that. Look at you. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you. So there you are. you have your camera. That is your first source. Now I'm adjusting the size. This is an unnecessary step. I'm just playing around. And now if you actually look, I'm playing around and having fun. But I am actually going to keep it smaller so you can see what I'm doing down here. If I had the camera full screen, then you wouldn't actually be able to see me messing around with the settings and adjusting stuff. So we are keeping it just like that. Look how, oh, snap. Look how cool that looks, though. Look at the video. Isn't it cool? Whee! Okay, that's annoying. I apologize. I'm going to stop. So now you have your camera set up, but we need to set up your microphone. So microphone, audio mixer. You're going to click the little options button next to where it says mic aux. And then you're going to select properties. And then you're going to make sure that your microphone is selected. For me, my microphone, I run an audio interface, and my microphone is selected already as the default input in my Windows settings. So I just go here and I go device default. I can also change it. Let's see if I can change it to something else, and then you won't hear me anymore. Okay, you still hear me because I selected the microphone. Let's choose something else, and then you won't hear me at all. You want to select, make sure you have your microphone selected. If it's the default, then excellent. If not, and you have to go to the drop-down menu to find it. If you have a mic that plugs into an interface, and then the interface then plugs into the computer, or if you have a microphone that is just straight USB into the computer, or if you have a microphone on your webcam, or if you have a headset microphone, whatever it is, that's going to be where you go to find it in the little options button next to mic aux in the audio mixer. Now you'll also see in the audio mixer, you'll see something that says device audio. That's going to be where your desktop sound comes out of. So if you're watching a video, or if you're in a Zoom call or something like that, anything that you hear over your computer, your speakers or your headphones or whatever, that's going to come in over desktop audio. But there you go. As long as your audio is working, and you see how my green bar, when I talk, see how my green bar is moving. It's not going up into the red. It's not peaking. Everything is adjusted properly. But if for some reason while you're talking, your microphone is peaking, it is going up into the red. Let me actually adjust it here on my interface. And now, yeah, now it's blowing out. Now it's actually way too loud. So I adjust that slider to turn it down. Now, because I'm using a separate audio interface, I don't want to just use this to adjust. I actually use my interface to adjust my volume, but you don't have to do all that. That is extra steps that you don't have to get into right now. For now, this is it. You just created your first scene in OBS, and it is you on video with a microphone. So you can talk into the camera, you can talk into the microphone, and you're good to go. And that's fine if you just wanted to talk about something. But a lot of the time, when people want to make videos, when people want to upload things and share things, they don't just want to record themselves. They want to, first of all, have it look kind of cool and have some cool visual elements. And they might even want to play a recording. Say you have a presentation or a video or whatever that you made, and you want to play parts of it and then stop it and then interject and give commentary and add to it or unpack it or whatever. You want to do things like that. You don't have to do that in video editing. You can also do that here in OBS. So first and foremost, I'll show you a different scene. This is a different scene. As you can see, we still have the OBS interface in the top left corner of the screen. Over here on the top right, we have a live background, an animated background that I can change. Just like that. We have a graphic overlay. You know, we have some images, some graphics. I have a second camera. And that is the puppy cam. The puppies are not in the office right now. We have people over. The puppies are hanging out and socializing with people. So they are not in the puppy cam right now, but that's where they are most of the time. Then we have me here on camera on the A cam. And yeah, so I'm going to teach you how you can build something with all different elements. So it's not just you talking into the camera, looking at the camera. So you can have some other stuff too. So in your scene, you're going to want to add some sources. Now you might want to keep this scene one, just the camera and the microphone. And if that's the case, we're going to go ahead in the scenes panel, click plus, create a new scene, and go through the same steps we just went through to create scene one, to add your video and to make sure your audio is working good. I'm going to keep it on this scene just for ease of use, ease of access. But remember, you can make a new scene here if you want to, because scenes are the program, scenes are what people see, and the sources are all the different elements of that scene, and they can all be changed, they can all be manipulated. We'll get into cropping, we'll get into resizing and all that stuff. And then you'll be ready to go. You'll be ready to record and upload an interesting contribution to the ongoing conversations. So in your scene, you have your video, you have your audio working good, and say you want to add a graphic. Say you want to do like a cool little, I will show you something you can do. Say you wanted that. Say you wanted a frame around your video. Well, this is an image that I have on my computer that I made with Photoshop. And I cut out the inside of it so you can see, and it actually works as a little frame. So say you wanted like a cool frame on your video just to spruce it up a little bit, to make people think, oh yeah, that's cool. That looks really cool. And say you wanted, I don't know, a different image to be your background. We'll go ahead and add a new, oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. In sources panel, you click the plus sign. For an image, you find where it says image, click image, create new, name it whatever you want to name it, click OK, and then you're going to click browse, and you are going to go to your files, your hard drive, and you're going to find whatever image you want to add. Let's choose this. This is the image from my recent short story, The Cup of Coffee at the Center of the Universe. So say we wanted to have that up as well while I was talking, or even have it as a background. Let's say we wanted to run that as the whole background. What I'm going to do now is move my camera to the top of the stack. Make sure it is not too big. It's not covering up the entire background. You can accomplish that by resizing. when you have a bunch of sources here, it can get a bit messy. You don't know what you're clicking. You don't know what you're moving. In order to navigate the sources panel easier, you click whatever you want to move. So here we are, my camera. I make sure it's clicked. It's highlighted in blue in the sources panel. And then it is outlined in red in the scene, in the program. When it's outlined in red, you can grab it. You can move it around, put it wherever you want to put it. You can resize it if it's too big, if it's too small. Say I like how big my face is, but I don't want the background to be covering up that much room. I want to be able to see more of my photo here. What you're going to do is hold Alt on your keyboard, the Alt key, A-L-T, and then you click and drag the red outline, and that's how you can crop the source. If you only want part of it, or if you want to make it a bit smaller without actually changing the actual size of it, you just want the screen real estate that it's taking up. You want that to be smaller. That's how you accomplish that. So cropping is done by holding the Alt key on your keyboard and then clicking and dragging on that red outline in the program output area. This is also very useful if you're on a Zoom call with multiple participants and you want to record the Zoom call. It's very useful to be able to crop out certain parts of the image, and you can duplicate the display capture and have multiple people brought in just to make it look good, make it have some visual consistency across the board. It's also very useful. Say I like this turtle, but I don't want all of it. I can do the same thing. I can crop this source, make sure I'm selected the background, hold Alt and move it, and then I can crop to my heart's content. And say I wanted to resize it, then you let go of everything, and then you just grab and drag like you normally would to resize. So that's how to do it with an image. If you wanted to add some graphics, a graphic overlay, or a background to your video. If you wanted to add a live background or an animated background, it's similar. You click the plus sign, click media source. We'll go to create new. If it's a background, you click loop. And so what that'll do is it will keep the video playing over and over and over again, like if it's an animated background. If it's not, well, we'll get into that next. First, we're going to do a live background. So we click loop, and then we search for a video file here. Let's choose this. We select our file. Make sure loop is on because I want it to play as a background, and click OK. Now, the thing is, when you add a media source, it will add an audio to your audio mixer as well. So if the video that you're adding has audio connected to it, the audio will begin to play. So if you want to use something as a background, but you don't want the audio to be there, all you have to do is mute it first by clicking on there we go, clicking on the little microphone next to it. That'll mute it. And then we'll click OK to add it as a source. Now it's muted, but the video is playing. And once again, because things stack up, Sorry, my dog's being crazy, and I should have paused. Actually, I'm going to do that. I'm going to pause the recording real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, so we paused it. Over here in the bottom right, or the lower right quadrant of the OBS interface, there's a pause button. You can pause recording. And I had to do that because I had to see to the puppies. But let's get back to it. So you have this media source. You want to use it as a background. You muted the audio. We're going to take it and drag it so it is underneath all the other sources in the stack, all the other layers. And there you go. Now it's behind everything. Now you can't even see it because the OBS interface. So what I'll do is I will make this a bit smaller. I'm going to hide this image. I'm going to hide that image. I'm going to hide that image. And now you can see the background is still there behind everything, because we moved it from its position at the top of the stack, because every time you add a new source, it goes to the top. So what you want to do in that case is make sure it's highlighted, grab it, and drag it underneath all the things that you don't want to be covered up by it. So that's how you make a live background. If you wanted to, once again, have, just cool aesthetics, have it look cool, add some pizzazz or whatever. Or if you have a presentation, if you recorded a PowerPoint, or there's someone else's video that you wanted to record, or give commentary on or something like that. We'll do the same thing, similar to how we added the live background. Press the plus button down here in the sources panel, go to media source, create new, give it a name so you know where it is, what it is. Let's find a file. And since it's not a background, since it's something you want to give commentary on, you will not select loop, because that's how you get it to keep playing over and over again. So leave loop blank. Then we'll go to browse. We will select a video. Let's see if we can find. Let's do that. We'll just grab, oh my gosh. Let's see. We'll just grab this episode. Doesn't matter what it is for the purposes of demonstrating, but select whatever file it is you want to show. Open. Once again, it is going to start playing once you put it in. So you want to mute the audio unless you want the audio to be heard. Then you will leave it alone. We'll click OK. And now, as you can see, there is a video along with my live video. There's this pre-recorded video that's playing right next to me. And if it's something that you wanted to give commentary on, you would make sure it is selected in the sources. And as you can see, there's a little pause and a little stop button. And then there's a little scrub timer thing that you can scrub through the whole thing. So I want to pause it. And I want to give some commentary, like I'm talking about it, something, blah, 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 something, something, something. This was a fun episode. If I want to scrub ahead and find a certain part of it or whatever, notice I unmuted it. I clicked the little speaker in the audio mixer It was red because I muted it. I unmuted it, so we'll be able to hear it. And then I want to press play again, let you get a little bit more.
Your comments here, this is when we'll get us
Okay, it's
canceled.
playing. I can give commentary. I can discuss. I can this and that. Scrubbing through again. I want to play another part. Livelihood or expenditure or our own accursed share. And so Capital does it for us. But because Capital is such a fucking idiot, it just let myself talk, and then I can mute and I can pause it and I can play it and I can give commentary. And you notice it's playing. You're not hearing it. It's because I muted it. You do lots of stuff. So OBS is extremely versatile. You can add elements. You can add animated elements. You can add live elements, live video and pre-recorded video. You can have any presentation. You can have any images or any graphics overlays or anything like that. You can do an awful lot with just OBS. And like I said, we'll be getting into more. We'll be getting into editing. We'll be getting into post-processing and all kinds of stuff as we go deeper into this series. But I wanted to show you OBS is all you need. All you need to do is go to obsproject.com, download OBS, install it, run the auto configuration wizard, set it up for recording, select standard HD resolution and frame rate, add your camera, make sure your audio is working, and go. And then you can blast off. You can do all kinds of stuff, adding photo, adding video, adding all kinds of really cool elements, all kinds of really cool stuff. Yeah, OBS is extremely versatile, and you'll be ready to go. You'll be rocking and rolling in no time. So yeah, I think that about does it. Yeah, I don't know if there's much more to get into. I made a little cheat sheet that I will go ahead and put in the video description, or I'll put a link to it in the video description, so you can download, have a cheat sheet of the steps to how to get OBS, how to set up OBS, and how to run OBS. Recording goes through the settings. Let's see. Oh, one more thing before we go. On the lower right quadrant of the OBS window, there's a settings option. The more you use OBS, the more comfortable you will get with OBS. But because we already ran the auto configuration wizard for recording, everything should be good to go, but let's just double check. Click on settings. Okay, hold on. There we go. I got my sources covering up these dialog boxes. I don't want to do that. So in settings, there's general, appearance, stream, output, audio. There's a ton of settings, and this is why it can feel daunting. This is why it can feel overwhelming, because there's just so much, and they don't do a good job of explaining everything. We'll get into a lot of this stuff later on in this series, but for now, in order to double check, you click settings, you select output on the left there where it has these different options. You select recording tab. Yours will look different. If you see output mode, mine says advanced. Yours will say basic. There will only be a few options. What you want to do is you want to select recording format. You want that to say MKV or Matryoshka video. Recording quality, you want that to be high quality, medium file size. Recording path, you're going to select browse, and you're going to choose or create a folder for the videos that you record. You're going to choose where they go. So make sure you give that a name that you will remember, and make sure It's located in a easy enough place. You know how to navigate to it. You know how to get to it. The canvas resolution, you want that to be 1920 by 1080, frame rate 30 FPS. And you should be good to go. You should be, you know, rocking and rolling and ready to share some awesome stuff. What you can do before you get away from yourself, you'll probably want to do a short 30-second video or whatever just to test it. Make sure your video is working. Make sure your audio is working. Make sure you understand these elements and what goes on. After you've recorded a video and you want to use it, you'll go up in the top left of your screen. You'll click File, and you'll click Remux Recordings, and that will take the files that you recorded as MKV and convert them to MP4. Recording as MKV, it's a safer recording format to record to. If for some reason the file gets interrupted or OBS crashes, or if there's any interruptions, MKV will still work. If you were recording as an MP4 and something crashed or something got interrupted, the whole file would be corrupted. So it's always best to record as MKV. Maybe not always best, but it's a good thing while you're recording OBS on your computer at home to record in MKV. And then you just want to go File, Remux Recordings, and that will convert your recordings to an MP4. And MP4 is the video format that platforms like. So you'll be able to upload it to YouTube or any other, video platforms for that matter. And I think that about covers it. Like I said, I'll put this cheat sheet, make that available in the description to this video. The future videos in this series will look better. I just wanted to do all of this in OBS to demonstrate and to end up with an end result that resembles what you will be able to achieve after watching this and after going through these steps yourself. I didn't want to record something and then go back and edit it and chop it up and process it and, make it tends to be a little bit confusing. Like what you're seeing here is what you'll be able to get with OBS. Just like how I started this video. Here, I'll show you. I started this video like this, and I had this going. And I had my song going. You learned how to do that just now in OBS. All I did for that was I had my standard scene with my camera. I had my frame over here. Make sure to move that up to the top. Let's make this smaller. I had my animated background above the video, and I made sure that the music was playing. Let's take this media source and make it smaller and move it up the stack so we're able to see it just like that. Just like that. So it looked like a proper video introduction. It looked like the type of transition that you would achieve by way of editing. But we did it all live. We did it all here in OBS. Wanted to show you that you're able to do that and many, many more things. But like I said, I'm excited to see what you can do. Recording, streaming, we'll get into streaming. The pause button, that's very useful if you are recording something and you don't want to stop and restart, but you just want to jump away and jump back real quick. Here, let's do it. I'll put my hand up here. We'll pause it. Now I moved my hand and I unpaused it. So the pause button is pretty useful. These settings here in the virtual camera, studio mode, we'll get into all that as we move forward. For now, all you need to worry about is all the steps we just took, and then this button down here where if you look at my screen, it says stop recording, but on your screen, it will say start recording. And I think that's what you should go do. I'll see you next time. Thanks. Peace.